There's a reason why you failed to achieve your goal in the past. It's because you cannot stick to it long enough to see results. When you don't stay committed to your goal and you let distractions or new ideas pull you off track, you won't ever see meaningful progress. And when you don't see progress, you start doubting yourself. And when that self-doubt is so overwhelming, you start losing confidence and you start questioning if you'll ever be as successful as you thought you could be. When you don't have that self-belief anymore that you can be whoever you want to be, that's a recipe for failure because you can only achieve as much as you believe you can. You are the only one that stands between you and your success. And that starts by picking one goal and staying committed to it. That's all you gotta do. So get serious, stay focused, and go tunnel vision. The problem behind not committing to a goal is not about the goal itself. Actually, you can achieve whatever you put your mind to. I firmly believe that. The problem, though, stems from your inability to say no to all the other options that come on the goal pursuit. For example, there are some options that come in the way that are very easy to recognize. For example, you're working towards a fitness goal or a business goal. You know that if you have the option to drink, to go out, to go to the beach, to party, to watch TV, to scroll through social media, that those do not align towards your goal. So you should say no to that. And that takes a lot of self-awareness to recognize, and you just need to build that skill to say no and doing what matters instead. But on the other hand, there are some not so obvious options that come in the way that veer you off track, and that is the culprit to your failures in the past. It's saying no to all the other good ideas or new goals that seem valuable and important. Look, you're probably like me. You're a high achiever, you're a visionary, you're ambitious, and you're on your self-improvement journey. And when you're on this journey, there's a lot of things that you want to change. There's a lot of goals that you want to set. And when you start something, it's exciting. But then things start to get a little bit boring, or you might get a little impatient, or you might be facing your first challenges and setbacks. And that is really uncomfortable and it feels hard. And in those moments, you start thinking about the other goals that you want to have and you want to do. So you stop doing the one that you committed to and you start focusing on a new goal. That's why you can't see progress. That's why you're not where you want to be. It's because you stop being focused on that one thing you committed to and you're starting something new again. It's not like the new thing is bad. It's probably good as well. But all the progress that you could have seen flourish, you'll never even give that chance to do so because you're switching tasks. Right now, I'm just like you. I'm being pulled in so many directions. I want to start a podcast. I want to do vlogs. I want to do one-on-one coaching. I want to do TikToks. I want to start blogging on LinkedIn. There are so many things that are good ideas that will also support my pursuit to become an entrepreneur. Those are not bad ideas. But the thing is, in the beginning of 2024, I made a commitment. I told myself that I would post self-improvement videos on YouTube for a whole year before I revisit my goal. And I'm not even a full year in. So why would I start doing new things and putting my focus elsewhere when I already have a commitment and I'm seeing progress? It's very slow. It's very minimal. But if you look at the big picture, I am making progress because at the beginning of the year, I had 1,000 subscribers. And now I'm over 17K. So I know that it's working. It's slow and sometimes it feels boring and sometimes I feel like my channel is dying, but I still stick through it, and that's what's going to make me make more progress. I know it works because it has worked for me in the past. When I started college, I had one goal. It was to graduate with straight A's. I wanted to have the best grades possible because I thought that I would maybe want to go to med school. And I had tunnel vision. I did everything to stick to that goal. And it happened. I did not let outward external factors influence my decisions. I literally had one goal and I stick through it. And I actually eventually graduated with the highest grades of my whole class and my whole school, and my major in pre-med, I had the highest grade. And I was also a student athlete. That's because I knew that if I just put my focus on one thing that mattered, anything else that comes in the way, I had to say no to. Partying, socializing. I did sacrifice some things, but I'm so proud to where I am today that I know that I can achieve anything I put my mind to. I think that's why I'm also a professional athlete. If you don't know me, my name is Bianca St. George and I'm a professional soccer player. That's my full-time job. And to become a pro athlete, I had to say no to a lot of things, to a lot of good ideas, to a lot of good careers because I was a high achiever. There's a lot of things I wanted to do. But sticking to one plan and making sacrifices and being patient and being able to be resilient throughout that is what made me be where I am today. So recognize when you are pursuing a goal, you will have that feeling that you want to quit. You will have that feeling that you want to fall back to your old habits or maybe start an altogether new goal. You cannot succumb to that feeling. Most people feel the exact same way that you do, but what they do is quit, and that's why they stay average. If you don't want to stay average, you need to overcome those uncomfortable, hard times that are necessary. When you feel bored, when you feel impatient, when you're feeling the setbacks, you need to sit through it and still work through it. Because if you start new goals, those feelings will come back. Those are very necessary on your goal pursuit. You need to learn to stay committed. And that's what I'm going to teach you in this video. Because by the end of this video, you will have the strategy, the actionable steps to what to do for you to stay committed to your goal this time and actually see the progress that you want to see. You have one goal right now, and I'm going to make sure that you achieve it this time. And why am I doing that? Is because I know that by me teaching you those things, it's me living at my full potential. I know it's selfish, but I know that if I give you my secrets, my tools, what has worked for me, it makes me feel fulfilled. And I want you to be in the top 1% as well because that makes me feel really good about myself. That's it. I have no other reason to do this. I'm going to give you the best strategies for you to stay committed to your goals because once you're committed and you're consistent, you're going to see results. And when you see results, it's going to build momentum and it's going to be a positive feedback loop that's going to keep you going. And over time, you're going to become the person that you've always dreamt to be. And once you learn the skills to goal commitment, you'll be able to apply those skills in any goals that you pursue. That is how you become unstoppable. The plan for the rest of the video is for me to give you those strategies. And basically, goal commitment has 3 pillars. You need clarity, you need purpose, and you also need resiliency. And with each pillar, I give you 3 individual steps that you can apply for you to fully live out those pillars. I know this video is lengthy and it's dense, but we are talking about your goals right now. We are talking about you living at your highest potential, at challenging yourself. So it's going to take effort. It's going to take some thought. It's going to take some preparation, but that is good because you are fully living at the highest version of yourself right now by putting this effort. So I'm really proud of you for already making it your way through this video this far. Let's get into it and actually take your potential seriously. The first pillar is clarity. You want to increase clarity because it strengthens your commitment to your goal. The more clear you are about your goal, the more consistent you are because you simply know what to do. A reason why you might have failed in the past is because you felt too overwhelmed from not knowing what to do. We are going to make sure that you are crystal clear about what needs to happen for you to stay committed to your goal. And there are 3 ways to go about this: through planning, through creating an action board, and then through following rules. For planning, without a detailed plan, goals can really seem overwhelming and unmanageable. It is so important that you take the time and effort to plan properly before pursuing a goal. That is literally 50% of your goal pursuit is the preparation. I always remember this saying, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. So you want to keep that in mind, that preparation is super important. And I created a 10-step protocol on how to prepare properly. It doesn't matter how committed you want to be if you didn't plan properly. And I make sure that you have the proper preparation by giving you a 10-step protocol that I did in my last video. It was so successful because people love the details. I go through it step by step. It is lengthy for a reason because I really make sure that you are clear about what you need to do to make sure that you are starting off strong. If you don't want to listen to the video, you can go to my private community where I have the written protocol step by step with all the details, plus some worksheets and checklists for you to make sure that you have completed each step correctly. The next way to increase clarity is by making an action board. An action board is very different than a vision board, because if you do the protocol that I have given you, in step 1, we do a vision board, and that is about your dream life. It's envisioning all of your goals flourishing and what your dream life looks like. But here we are talking about one specific goal, and when we look at an action board, which is different than a vision board, the action board is all about the actions that are necessary for you to reach that goal. Because people make the mistake to create this vision, but don't really think thoroughly about what needs to happen to achieve the goal. So an action board is a powerful tool to help you visualize and see yourself completing the behaviors that are necessary to do. It's really good to do that, because when it's going to be time to do the things that you have to do, it won't feel unexpected. It won't feel as hard, because you will have mentally prepared and have seen this vision of yourself going through the actions. So you want to collect some images, some text, symbols, mindsets, thoughts that are all related to your actions. Let's say one of your short-term goals is to lose 5 pounds. Your action board could have scale, it could have the foods that you're going to eat, the certain amount of protein you're going to have, some powerful affirmations that you want to have, the certain exercises that you will do. So see how it's all in your control. It's everything that you can do to achieve that goal, because that's literally all you can do is control the controllable. Now, the third way to make sure you increase clarity about what to do for you to stay more committed to your goal is by creating some set of rules to follow. Rules are amazing. I know a lot of people hate rules, but they are such a weapon to add clarity. They increase consistency. Why would you not like that? They literally help you make decisions because it tells you how to act. Not only are rules telling you how to act, but it also takes away all the other options on how not to act. Remember all the rules that you had when you were a kid that you had to follow? It helped you make decisions. It added structure. It reduced ambiguity. And you followed the rules because you did not want to suffer the consequences. I remember a rule that I had in my house. If we left our toys out and our parents picked it up and put it in a bucket, to retrieve the toy, we had to do a chore. That was a rule. So if I followed through, I would get the toy back, but if I didn't, I would suffer the consequence of never seeing that toy again. We also had rules related to the amount of TV we could watch. So when we maxed out that rule, we had to play with each other. So it reinforced the behavior that our parents wanted my siblings and I to have. They wanted us to play more together, so they only allowed us to watch 1 hour of TV per day. So you got to create rules for yourself so it increases the behaviors that you do want and reduces the behaviors that you don't want to have. If you want to participate in my challenge that starts September 1st, and all we do is pursue one goal, and it's the goal of your choice, but we're going to do it together for 8 weeks, I have 3 rules that you must follow. The first rule is that you need to absolutely track everything. If your goal is related to fitness, perhaps you want to track your protein intake, your weight, if you worked out. If your goal is related to education, maybe you want to track the amount of hours you studied, the practice questions you completed, the time you woke up. If one of your goals is related to certain skill development, maybe you track your hours practicing it. If you journaled, if you read, if you posted on social media. Whatever those controllable actions that you need to do to reach your goal, whatever those are, track that. Because not only does it help you stay consistent, but it adds clarity, again, about what you need to do. And it always keeps in mind your goal, which is what you want. And also, if you find yourself failing or making mistakes or falling off track, you can look at your tracker, your habit tracker, and it tells you certain patterns, and you can make links and you can try to problem solve that. So tracking everything is such a good habit to have. And if you want like a downloadable copy of a habit tracker, you can also find that in my community for free. The next rule, number 2, is to journal as often as possible. I love journaling. It's a habit that I've had for years, and it's one of the best habits I could ever have. And if you're someone like me that have a hard time hearing my thoughts or just having structure in my thoughts, journaling is the best thing I could have ever started for myself, because Okay, chances are you're going to be someone that is going to achieve great things. I hope you do, and I know that you can. Later on, don't you want to be able to look back at things that you went through, things that went through your mind? People are going to want to study you. I know it sounds maybe too much for you to think of yourself that way, but that's how I view you if you're an ambitious person. You definitely have a story that is worth knowing, but it's so hard with everything that's being flooded to us to have a good memory. You need to journal everything, how you're feeling, what you're going through, document your journey. It's going to be so valuable one day. And if you journal as often as possible, let's say every single day, about your goal, you're going to increase that clarity. You're going to increase that tunnel vision that you want. So for days that are a little bit slower, if you don't want to journal every day, try to journal on the days that are slower. So for example, if you have fitness goals, there are days that you're not going to work out. You have to make sure that you journal. So then you really keep that goal in your mind. Make sure that you know where you'll journal. Is it going to be on your Apple's Journal app? Is it going to be an online Notion app? Or is it going to be a physical copy? Also, know when do you plan on journaling. Put that in your schedule. In the morning, after you wake up, right before bed, during your lunch break. The more clear you are about when you'll journal, the more likely you are going to follow through that promise. And then finally, what are you going to journal about? What's your plan for that? And if you want to know certain prompts, I have 6 different journaling types that you can look through, again, on my school platform. But ultimately, the most important thing is that just be honest. Be radically honest about what's going on and just try to problem solve or just write down how you feel and let yourself go. There is no perfect way to journal, but the only thing that you need to keep in mind is being intentional and being honest. It's for yourself, okay? Let yourself be creative and explore what feels the best, but I promise you over time it's going to be so worth it. The second pillar to stay committed to your goal is by having purpose. And I know that purpose sounds woo-woo, but it's so important and deep, and I'm going to unpack that for you to understand how valuable it is. I want you to feel so connected to your purpose because that will help you make better decisions. And remember, we are trying to say no to things so we can stay on track towards our goal. So if you have purpose aligned with your goal, it will be so much easier for you to stay disciplined and do what you need to do because it will feel meaningful to you. When you're going to have to work hard to achieve your goal, it won't feel that hard actually because at least it will be aligned with your purpose and it will simply feel right. For example, me doing YouTube, yes, it's hard work. I put a lot of freaking work into my YouTube channel. But at the end of the day, it's still easy for me to be disciplined because it's almost harder for me to not do YouTube. When I sit back and I try to do something else, it feels like it has no meaning and that I lack my purpose. When I work on my YouTube channel to give self-improvement videos to try to help other people, that just feels right. And there's no other thing that I'd rather do because this feels so aligned with where I want to go. You might not know right now, right this second, what your purpose is, but that's going to be the purpose of explaining the next 3 points to help you figure out what your purpose is. So follow these 3 methods. The number 1 thing you want to do is focus on your values. I want you to pick 3 core values that you stand by, that define you, that is part of your identity. It's something that you stand by. It's something that you firmly believe in. I hope you've heard of values before because they are so important. They're basically fundamental principles or beliefs that guide your life. And it's shocking to me to realize that a lot of people don't even know what their values are, or at least they think they know, but what they say is literally what's been passed down from their family, and they haven't really thought for themselves what that means to them. You need to think deep and look within what is ingrained in your identity and serves as the compass to your behavior. It could be respect, it could be freedom, it could be family, it could be hard work, it could be honesty. It is unique to you. Pick 3 core values that will literally be the blueprint to your behavior. If you're an OG, you have seen my initial YouTube banner. And on my YouTube banner, I had my 3 core values. I had growth, authenticity, and leadership. So whenever I was put in a situation where I felt like I was being pulled in different directions about what to do, I always fell back into my values. Is this decision going to bring me growth? Is this decision gonna make me be a leader? Is this decision authentic? If it did not align to one of those values, I knew it wasn't the decision for me. Values gives you so much purpose because at the end of the day, values dictate your behavior. And your life is worth living every single day. It's not only the day that you achieve your goal, it's literally the journey. I know it sounds so cutesy to talk about the journey is everything, but really it's how you feel every single day. And if you really want to feel your best and like you're on a mission and that you're living your potential, it's when you feel authentically aligned with your values. So I want you to pick 3 of them. I give you a full list here that you can choose from, and you can literally go on the internet and look out for more. But pick your values that will be the backbone of your behavior. And just know, those are not set in stone for the rest of your life. They will change as you evolve, and that's okay. But at least it gives you clarity and purpose to start. The next way to awaken your purpose is by identifying your why. Why are you choosing to participate in this challenge? Or if you're not participating in my challenge, why are you choosing to pursue your goal? You want to know why you're doing that because listen to this quote. He who has a why can endure any how. Meaning that if you have a reason why to do something, you can literally follow through it no matter what. You can endure anything that's being thrown at you because you are so connected to that reason. And you're probably in this trap right now where you're comfortable in your life. The hardest part with being comfortable is finding a deep and strong why to get out of your comfort zone. The people that have lost everything, they have nothing to lose. It's almost easier for them to have a strong reason why to do something because they literally have nothing. When you're average, it's almost easy to stay average. So you really need to dig deep about what's going to make you raise above mediocrity. What's going to make you work through the challenges that's going to be thrown on you on your goal pursuit for you to escape the norm. What's that reason? It could be a lot of wholesome things. It could be to have a legacy, to make younger you proud, to maximize your time here on earth, to live your highest potential and explore what that potential is. But it could also be a little bit less cutesy and butterflies, and it could be to seek revenge to people that have wronged you, to people that have pained you, to people that have disrespected you. It could be a little bit deeper and darker, but ultimately, when you try to do something like that and overcome that, you are inspiring all the other people that have been in the same boat as you. So it is a wholesome thing at the end of the day. Oftentimes, what people don't recognize is that your purpose lies right next to the worst thing that's happened to you. The reason why I'm able to show up on YouTube so consistently and give value and feel so passionate about it is I speak to you about things that I struggled with. I had a huge identity crisis. I struggled with perfectionism, low self-worth, procrastinating. I know this doesn't sound that traumatic, but that was really ruling my life. I felt like I was not enough. I felt stupid. I felt like, I had no reason to be here. All these negative feelings, I have leaned into it and learned to overcome them. And it's giving me purpose to teach you how to overcome your issues that are similar to what I've been through. So if anything, I would suggest that you try to face your pain, what has deeply pained you, and look at how this can give you a sense of purpose of what you want to do next and why you want to overcome that pain. And if you take the time to recognize other people's purpose, you'll see that we all have a common theme. We all have a purpose to serve humanity. I know it's so woo, but it's so true. If you look at what you've been through and learn to overcome it and teach others how to navigate that, you are bettering humanity. You are making the world a better place. And there's nothing more authentic than looking at your own story. Your story is so important. It is relatable to other people. And you have gone through so many things and you are rising stronger. And that is worth telling. This is just some food for thought for you to think about how you matter. You actually matter. And what you have to say is important because you don't even understand how one thing you say can impact other people. I see that in my comments all the time. I say things that feel so natural to me and, doesn't feel that deep anymore because it's so familiar, but it can actually change someone's life. I still get comments about that. It's unbelievable. And that keeps me going. Anyways, I went on a little tangent here, but your purpose is really close to you. And I just want you to lean into it. And it starts by asking yourself, why are you going on this goal pursuit? The last method for you to feel like you are aligned with your purpose is to make sure that it feels good to be on your purpose. And we do that by celebrating small wins. You need to create some sort of reward to be on this journey. Because yeah, you can follow your purpose and you can work hard and be disciplined, but you need to take the time to acknowledge your efforts, your hard work, who you are becoming. That is a choice that you are making. You should actually even take the time right now, right this second, listen to me, right this second, to think about the fact that you are listening to a video about self-improvement right now. You are trying to better yourself. You could be self-sabotaging. You could be doing bad habits right now, but you are taking care of yourself and you are learning and investing in your growth for a better future. That is something to be proud of. That is something that is different than the norm. So you need to find moments like this on your journey to celebrate. Just little moments to tell you that you're on track. That will strengthen your purpose because you will take the time to realize that you are doing exactly what you need to be doing, which is doing your best. It's not necessarily being your best. You're not always going to be your best, but every day you can do your best. This is something that I've learned in sports. I mean, it's really helped me become the top 1% of athletes to become pro, literally from doing my best every single day. That's all you can control. This is the biggest difference between learning from punishment. Here, we want to positively reinforce disciplined behaviors through positive reinforcement. And there are many ways that you can do that. Like I said, you can tell yourself good affirmations, you can journal about it, but you can also do some things that are more external also, like little gifts to yourself or little treats. And again, if you go into my community, I give you a list of ways that you can celebrate small wins that are really important. Like those are super important to do. But ultimately, all you got to do is to just remind yourself that you're proud of yourself. Like this is something that people lack doing. But I'm going to tell you right now, I am proud of you, okay? At least you've heard it once today. If it's not from you, it's coming from me. Just an example in my life. So if you are following my other YouTube videos, you know that I'm in my, dating era right now. Like I'm starting to date again. But it's very intentional and mindful. And I only allow myself to date people or go on the dates if I do the things that I have to do like every single day on my goal pursuit. Like I don't allow myself to go on dates if I don't do my goals because it just feels like then it would be a distraction. So this kind of gives me like purpose and it gives me motivation to do what I have to do every single day, I guess. It allows me to stay disciplined because I want that reward and I just do what I got to do. And then eventually I get to enjoy my date because that is kind of like my reward for doing the hard shit. So just make sure it's balanced and you don't go through something excessive like you film a YouTube video and then you go on a 3-day partying binge. You have to be a little bit mindful about how you celebrate your wins. You don't want to be too extra. But anyways, just go on my school community if you want more details. I'm really lay everything out there for you to make sure that you really understand every single step of this whole video. Now, the third and final pillar on how to keep tunnel vision and stay consistent and committed to your goal is through building resiliency. I love this. I love this one so much because that is a characteristic that I have built over time that I know is what's going to make me succeed in life. Being resilient. So, just so you know, there's only two ways that you can fail. Either you don't start, so you have failed because you haven't even started, or two, if you quit. When you are resilient, you don't quit. So let's try to build your resiliency to ensure that you don't give up and that you will eventually achieve your goal no matter what happens. So again, there are 3 ways for you to build resiliency, and the best way to go about it is to do all 3. Okay, it's not like either or option. It's you got to do all of these 3 things. The first thing is to manage your expectations. I'm going to go through a certain list of expectations that you need to expect, because once you expect those things to happen, when they happen, it won't throw you off because you knew that was going to happen. You will persevere through it. You will be more resilient. You will follow through and overcome your challenges because you just knew that was going to happen. You're like, okay, yeah, I knew that. Now what's next? So basically, I'm going to go through a list of expectations for you to really be aware of so you're fully prepared for what's to come. And again, you can go through my school community for more details. So I'm going to kind of fly through this. The first one is you need to expect to do different behaviors. And I know that sounds really simple and kind of funny, but a lot of people, they want a different life, yet they're not ready to accept the fact that they're going to have to change what they do. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you'll keep getting what you've been getting. So if you want a different life outcome, which is probably the case since you want to achieve a goal, which is different than what you have right now, you have to expect to do things differently. You can't stay stuck to old things. And also look at your life right now on a 24-hour basis. You usually used to do something the same way and it got you to a certain result. If you want a different result, there are some things that you're going to have to change. So just expect that. That is literally just the first step. And it's going to feel uncomfortable. But remember, growth comes from discomfort. So perfect. The second thing to expect is expect this to be a lifelong journey. I know you're setting a goal right now, but you're a high achiever, you're ambitious, you want to escape mediocrity and not be average. That means that you're constantly going to challenge yourself. It's not just one goal and it's over. It's not you going on a diet, losing the weight, and then going back to your previous diet because that's going to just make you gain the weight back. This is like a lifestyle change. You challenging yourself is something that you're going to commit to forever, but that is what is the most fulfilling. Once you commit to this journey, you'll realize that there is no better way to fully live your life, to continuously challenge yourself. We are so lucky to have that opportunity right now in this day and age. There was a time in history where people didn't have the luxury that we have right now. I'm literally in my apartment filming a video to you. Like, I can be creative. I can tell you what I want to do. I don't have to worry about my safety right now. I don't have to worry about getting food or going to war. I'm so lucky. We need to embrace the fact that we live in this age right now. So reach our potential. You can do it. And most people won't do it, but you can. So are you willing to do what it takes? The next one is expect to not feel motivated. I went on this huge tangent in a whole video about motivation and actually did pretty well on my channel, so you can look back at it if you're interested. But basically, I never rely on motivation. I think motivation is so overrated because it is so unpredictable. I have stopped relying on motivation years ago because I realized that what I need is discipline. And when you are disciplined, you can always follow through your own promises versus motivation. It needs circumstances. It needs good timing. It needs conditions for you to follow through. I don't want to have to rely on that. I want to be fully in control of my success, and that is through discipline. The next one is to expect failure. You cannot expect to follow your goal pursuit perfectly. Okay, that's something that you need to accept, that you won't be perfect. So you will fail, you will make mistakes, you will face setbacks, you will disappoint yourself, but that doesn't matter. You know what actually matters? It's how you respond to that. What is the true sign of your character is your reaction to shortcomings. It's how you respond to your failures. So whatever happens, whatever disappoints you, don't shame yourself for failing or making a mistake. Don't try to interpret the meaning of your failure like, oh, I'm such a bad person, I suck, I'm never gonna be good enough. Don't do that shit. Just look at why you have failed and then grow from that. It's all about growing. It's all about evolving. And you just have to remember that you're just a human being that's trying to figure it out. No one has gone through life perfectly. Like, what does that even mean? You are just living this journey, and just embrace it. Just be proud that you even have the courage to try things. So just remember that what determines success is based on how you learn from failure. Expect to make sacrifices. Your new life will cost you your old one. There are things in your life right now that you're going to have to sacrifice for you to have that new life for yourself. But remember, that new life is your dream life. So whatever you're doing right now that you need to sacrifice is to have a better future. I know maybe in the short term it feels like it sucks and you might go down before you go back up, but that's just how it is. Remember, if you don't sacrifice for what you want becomes a sacrifice. And then finally, just expect pain. I know it sounds dark, but that's just life. Suffering is inevitable. You will suffer along the way. You will feel uncomfortable. You will feel doubt. You will question things. Just expect it. Don't get thrown off when it feels so bad. The real question that you have to ask yourself is, what pain are you willing to suffer? Because like I said, pain is inevitable. You're going to face pain no matter what. Some people face the pain of being a victim, of having things happen to them, to feel powerless, to feel helpless, to feel like they have no control over their life and they have low self-esteem. Do you want that pain? Or would you rather suffer the pain of discipline, the pain of getting after what you want, of facing your weaknesses, of facing harsh truths? That other pain leads you to self-destruction versus this pain, the one of self-discipline, the one of goal pursuit, it leads you towards a life of prosperity, of health, of reaching your potential. That's what you want. So this pain is much more worth it, in my opinion, because you have such a bright side. Don't remain a victim. Take control of your life and just choose the pain of self-discipline over the pain of regret. If you want details about the expectations, you can always look at that again through my school community. Now, if you want to find another way to increase resiliency, to make sure that you won't quit, that you literally would have that dog in you come to life, this one might sound a little bit like, oh, seriously? You need a positive mindset. You need a positive attitude. For some reason, that really clicked to me recently when I realized that when I was watching that movie Inside Out, you have probably seen it. It's a cartoon movie that has like emotions. That emotion, Joy, she kind of bugged me a little bit because I'm like, she's too joyful. But at the end of the day, what I really liked about her was her positive attitude. When you're positive, you're very optimistic about life. And when you're optimistic, you become a problem solver. So when things are tough, you don't just resort back to that victim mindset. You are positive about life. So you know that this tough time is worth it. It's something that can teach you something. So you kind of go into this problem solving mode and you end up finding solutions. So you end up not quitting. That is how a positive attitude keeps you resilient. In that movie, Joy, she recognized that sadness was extremely necessary to be the person's best potential. And she was only able to acknowledge the worth of something that seems negative, like sadness, until she was open-minded and listened and decided to have a growth mindset and learn and adapt. You can only achieve that if you are positive and you are believing in yourself. Do you remember at the beginning of the video, I said you can only achieve as much as you believe you can? When you have a positive attitude, it increases your self-confidence. And when you are confident, it makes you believe in yourself. It makes you believe in what you can do, and you act based on what you believe. The moment that you stop believing, you won't take the action necessary for you to reach your goal. I had a big failure in my life this year, actually. I got cut from the Olympic team. I was literally like a player short of making the team. And that could seem like a huge tragedy, like, oh, poor Bianca, she failed, right? But I kept a positive attitude about it because, first of all, I did not want to let other people control my happiness, my joy, my life outcome, my success. I was like, okay, I missed on that opportunity, but what opportunity does that create for me? I literally created the 30-day self-improvement challenge in July that was extremely successful as a result of me being cut from the Olympic team. And because I decided to use that opportunity of not going to the Olympics to create a challenge for other people and create this community, now I'm creating the second challenge right now because I'm building off the momentum that I created in the first place. And I would have never been able to do that if I was never cut from the team. And although it looks like it was a bad thing that happened to me, I'm like, this is the best thing that could have happened to me because it has opened so many doors for me. If I would have been my victim and kept a negative attitude, I would have never taken control over my life and created something bigger for myself. I just refuse to be a victim. I just refuse to let other things control my life. I take full ownership of where I want to go. And when you have a positive attitude, you literally leave no space for a victim mindset. So have a positive attitude. Now, the last step into increasing resiliency is through accountability. Okay, goal pursuit can be very lonely. A lot of people can not really understand why you're doing what you're doing because you're stepping out of your comfort zone and you're doing things differently than other people. You might be different than your friends, than your parents, than your coworkers, and you might feel like they judge you. First of all, if they judge you, just so you know, it's because you have the courage to do what they don't. Okay, so you should not even worry about that. But at the end of the day, if you decide to do something like that, you're still going to feel a little bit lonely. But I promise you, there are people that care. I care about you. That's why you're listening to my videos still, because I care about your self-development and your potential. And that's why I created the community, to have like-minded individuals to support each other. Because when you have the proper people that you surround yourself with, that you look up to, that inspire you, you're more likely to stay accountable to your goals and stay resilient because you will have people that support you. I love the group as well because when I tell the group that I'm going to post a certain video or I'm going to create this certain PDF for them, I need to do it because I literally put it out there and people count on me. You have to realize that other people are counting on you. You might not know who they are yet. They might not have met you. They might not even know you exist because you are just starting your journey. But eventually you will develop so much into the person that you want to become that you will be exactly the person that someone else needs to look up to. Someone out there needs you. They need you to show up because they need the leadership. They need to look up to you because you will have gone through what they're going through. And they need to see that it is possible to navigate that. I promise you, there are tons of people that have had it worse than you right now and have become extremely successful in their goals. So you can do it. You need to realize that you are fully responsible for your success and that no one out there is there to save you. But that doesn't mean that you have to do it alone. That's why we have the community. We are there to support each other. And if that is not the right fit for you, just surround yourself with like-minded individuals. I just know that it's hard to find. That's why I created my private community. But if you have those people, keep surrounding yourself with people that support you, that align with where you want to go. You will become more resilient and less likely to quit and more committed to your goal and staying consistent once you realize that you matter and what you do every single day actually matters, and you have the personal responsibility to show up and do your best every single day to reach that potential of yours. If we both hold each other accountable to this, we will make the world a better place. Without me and you, The world will still have so many problems, but me and you together to actually take the time to realize that we can do better and we can actually push ourselves to become the best version of ourselves, we can actually make a difference little by little. It starts with us. It starts individually. So I hope that you take your potential seriously. So yes, get serious, stay focused, and then go tunnel vision. Again, we need to stay committed to our goals because literally the world, humanity depends on you, depends on me, depends on each and every one of us individually to do our best. I know this was an extremely lengthy video, but I hope you got value from this. If you listen until the end, you're freaking awesome. I love you for that. Just leave a gorilla emoji in the comments. That would be my sign that you have listened to the full video, which is awesome. If you want to sign up for the challenge, it's not too late. We start September 1st. So show up. We're going to hold each other accountable. You can also access to all the written protocols step by step on how to pick your goal and also how to stay committed to your goal. And it's just like a booming community. I love it there. And also, if you want to know more private stories about me, let's say you vibe with me and you want to know more about my life and things that are more personal that I don't share anywhere else, you can just get connected with me through my newsletter, which is the second link in my description. Okay? On this note, I hope you lead your life so you can lead others, and together we will make the world a better place. I love you so much. I will see you very soon in a new video. Mwah.